you know, and I don't want to be, arrogant or, cocky or nothing, but man, this is what we expected, man. This is it was nothing less than, you know, what I'm saying. This was expected. So to win, it do feel good though because you never know what's gonna happen in the fight. You never know. Like I was listening to you, and the guy said, but he got to do it though, and he did it. So, man, to see that it happened, and I'm so happy for the kids, because of everything that's been going on with them, the doubts, the criticism, all those things that's going on, the missed out opportunities or the opportunity that was kept away from them, and so just to see them win and do it big like that is just, and to be a part of it is, I ain't gonna lie though, Mill, because I'm just saying, man, man, it's a wonderful thing. I'm gonna just leave it at that. It's a wonderful thing, It's part of who I am. It's part of who we is. So, you know, I guess if you're used to that time, you know what I mean. It's almost like normal.
I
Yeah.
mean, this past weekend, this is like a cemented legacy when it came down to so many people talking about GOAT status, especially right now, currently. Um, Tell me, like, as far as the people is concerned, this win over the Terence Crawford win. Tell me, how different is it?
Well, like I said, you don't get no bigger than Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean?
Right.
The perceived face of boxing. First ballot Hall of Famer. Hard punching. The guy. Everybody know Canelo Alvarez. If you followed him, you know how he is. You've seen his growth. You know what I'm saying? You've seen his rise. You've seen how he ascended, and he took on tough challenges. Whether they were in their prime or not, they were still really good fighters and Hall of Fame fighters and high level fighters, and he came through and built his legacy, man. And but like I say, everything he had, what I'm saying, we took it. Everything he had and everything he gonna have, Crawford took it. But so yeah, no, it's just shout out to both of them, man. Shout out to them. I can't say enough about either one of them, man. It's a great victory, and it's boxing. Boxing is that's what it is. You got to meet in the ring, and that's the best way to meet is in the ring, and they settle their differences, and everybody doing all the talking and everything. So Crawford settled it. That's it. We gonna show him in the ring. So that's what he did, man. Shout out to Crawford, man.
Great game plan. I was listening to some of the interviews of Crawford. He said that, I could tell that his power wasn't much until round two. And looking at the game plan per se, Bernie, can you kind of describe it? Because it seemed like when it came down to having that outside foot, releasing combinations, getting out, but staying close range. Everything was really like a lot of close range. Obviously, like later rounds, Canelo gets hurt and buckled, but in the same time, not going overboard, because you still got a strong guy in front of you. Yeah, can you talk a little bit about the game plan and how the execution really like just set forward?
Well, we did a lot of studying on Canelo. The coach has broken down a lot, and we've been watching him for years. And like I say, he has a trouble with movers. You know what I'm saying? You give him a little movement, which is most people. You know what I'm saying? We keep saying it to most fighters. You know what I'm saying? If a guy moved on me and I'm a mover, it'd give me trouble. So a mover is going to give you trouble. You know what I mean? A guy that moves and Crawford, like I say, is he had a better Canelo's not as fleet footed as like I say a Crawford, so we know he has to set to punch, and that's once you know that with a guy that's set to punch, then that's what you're supposed to keep him on the move, so he can't never to punch, so that's what he did against Prescott. You feel me? That was the first thing he brought that to my attention. Bernard got a set to punch, so that's why he moved him way back in Prescott. The same thing with Postal. I was listening to you with another guy, and he said that he was worried about his power. No, he was taking away his strongest asset, which was his punching power. It wasn't that he afraid of him; he just take it away from him. That's what Crawford do. He takes away your best weapons. You know what I mean? He nullifies you. So that's what we need to fail to realize. It's not about fear; it's about taking away. You know what I mean? So that's what Crawford did. He nullified him. He took away his ability to punch, and to set the punch, and the rest is history. And
You know,
go ahead.
you as a coach and you watching the fight play out, from that
Yeah.
round one to the round two, when do you know that you for sure say we got him?
After the first round, after round, after the first round, I knew it. I knew it. You seen Crawford boxed him, and man, he came straight. He came out with the double jab right hand right away. You see the first soon as they touched up, Crawford touched his glove, and I think he double jabbed right handed him right away. Went straight to him. And that's the thing too, usually a guy he's gonna back away. When you attacking, he's usually gonna back away a little bit. He's gonna step away, trying to get out the way a little bit. They usually not catching, rolling, or slipping. They're usually gonna step out the way first. And so he just sent a message to him, that I'm coming for you, and I'm not afraid of you. And it just sent a little mission because I know he thought Crawford was gonna circle. But Crawford went straight to him. You know what I mean? So that's something I mentioned kind of throw him off his game. If he was thinking he was going to walk Crawford down. So I knew from the first round. I knew it for after the first round, Crawford had him. Like I say, I knew it from the first round. And it just got better and better as you seen.
Yeah, it was nice to see how you guys was able to put that whole game plan together, and it seemed like it was like it's nice to see everyone in the corner putting in their thoughts in the corner as well. Like I seen that Saul.
Yeah,
Am I getting this? Yeah, he just
yeah,
great stuff in the inside work. Like you were saying that he's a great inside coach. Like you were
yeah,
saying, and you could see that really helped out a lot as well in
yeah,
the fight.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody got bring something to the table on
To
the
the table.
team. We all came up under Midge Minor, and you know what I'm saying. Bo was the understudy of Midge, and Saul, like I say, he came up came up where he came from Guatemala and through circuit and things like that, and being a Latino fighter, usually like to fight on the inside. And so he works great with that. Red is an all around. I think I'm all around, and I wasn't in the corner. I don't work the corners because they already had that set, and you already only have three coaches plus the doctor. So I've never worked the corners unless it's Jamar Talley or the lesser known guys. But with Crawford, you got those main three, and like I say, they got a great chemistry. We've been together for so long, and these guys are really boxing minds. They in it for the love of the sport and to win. So, but mainly for the love of the sport. They have a desire to want to be the best, and they show it with their mindset.
Yeah, each person brings that to the table. I like that, and salute to you for being a coach that puts everybody in the floor front before them, and admiring what everybody brings to it. He has you're just talking about just getting that bronze amateur coaching for the USA. Like I got the same thing for coaching, but it goes to show you that he wants to bring it back. You know what I mean? He wants to build the amateurs. And I was listening to that with that interview that he had with Sean Porter. And with you, you've been with Crawford from like the beginning. I was seeing a lot of videos and pictures, like you guys all kind of just went up together. So that's dope. That's real
Yeah,
admiring.
yeah,
How do you feel like Omaha and everyone else is gonna embrace the gym now with this big win? I mean, it seems to me I was looking at some videos with Crawford playing basketball with his regulars, and it's just like a regular thing. But this is greatness, though. This
yeah,
is huge.
yeah. That's what I want. That's how I was saying it when you say, "How do I feel?" It seems it's like regular, you know. But the city Crawford is a Crawford. So after he won, everybody ran out in the streets and they was popping fireworks and they was celebrating, and it was almost like Omaha Day. So that reminded me of when Joe Louis used to win. Crawford is bringing out something that fighters these days they don't have. You know what I'm saying? You haven't heard nobody going out in the streets after their guy won. The city's not going crazy. They going to an after party. The city actually went out into the streets and shouted and screamed and danced and celebrate it. So that reminded me when Joe Louis used to fight. That's what they say about Joe Louis all around the country. They would go out and scream when Joe Louis won. Um, and another thing I was thinking that I had put a post out. I was posting something, and it was about Bud, and I wanted to. I was trying to think of a song to play, so I typed in Bud Crawford, man, and you won't believe how many songs is named after Bud Crawford. If you go to YouTube, it was the music, whatever it was. It was my Instagram, but when I went to pick the music part, and I don't know if that's YouTube, but I put in Bud Crawford. Man, it was like 10, 11, 12 songs named after Bud Crawford, man. So I mean, the way this guy inspires people is just next level, man. And like I'm saying, if you don't know that, if you're not looking, but like I'm saying, this guy is inspiring people. You hear people reference guys in songs, fighters in songs. We've heard that a lot. But we're talking about songs dedicated to one man. You know what I mean? Named after this man. You know what I mean? So that just goes to show you, all the propaganda about Crawford's not popular or whatever else you want to say is totally false, man. It's totally false. It's all propaganda.
When Canelo Alvarez talked about, he wanted to do things in the ring, but his body wouldn't answer, it wouldn't respond. I mean, what did you get out of that as a coach?
Well, because Crawford didn't let him. Was listen, Canelo throws the same punches over and over. We know the same punch that he throws, and he threw those same punches. And as you seen, Crawford was ready for every one of them. Um, I was seeing you with another guy, and he was saying he don't punch in combinations. Well, Crawford wasn't there for him to punch in combination. And most guys is on the run. Most guys been on the run. So uh Crawford just nullified him, man. It was just and when he got to him, like I said, you seen him stood in the pocket. He traded with him. He went fire for fire with him, and he won that battle too. So, we just give a testament to Crawford. Nothing taken away from Canelo. It was just Crawford was just a better man. And again, I want to say this: a lot of those guys, they was training to fight Canelo. They wasn't training to beat Canelo. Like I say, they were already trembling with fear going in. Everybody. When I say everybody, and it's probably mostly the casuals. And a few of the guys. Everybody talking about a paycheck. So everybody's looking for a check. They know the one thing they're going to get is paid, however that is. I don't know. And really, I don't even think they're getting a lot paid like that. I'm not hearing crazy numbers from these guys getting these fights. Maybe it's on the back end where everybody don't know, but they're speaking of a payday. So if they're looking at a payday. They're not looking to win, to beat the man. And Crawford was looking to beat the man. It wasn't about a check. It was about the victory. And so I think in his preparation, preparing for victory, he was crossed all his T's and dotted all his I's. And he had about maybe 2 years to prepare for this. Because they was talking about this right after the Spence fight. So he had about a year or two maybe to prepare for this, to really think about this guy, to really mentally get himself ready and what it would be like, and to put himself in their shoes, mentally. So you never know what's gonna happen in the fight, but I think that's a good time to acclimate yourself into, to be doubt in your mind, to overcome any second guesses that you have, and I think day by day with the training and the sharper he got, and everything else, it just played out the way it's supposed to play out, and he did a spectacular victory. It was a very smart, thought out fight. He like I say, you can watch this guy and just learn from him for real. You can just learn from this guy if you're a boxer. He's a master in there.
So that, I mean, that goes to show you a lot. I mean, there was topics of Crawford making up to towards 50 million for this fight, and you're saying it was
Yeah,
more for the actual opportunity versus what these numbers that people are spectating.
definitely, definitely. I like I'm saying, every fighter is in it for the money, and most fighters, I'm talking about serious fighters, they want to get to the prize, they want to get to the fame and to the fortune, but you got to put the work in for that. And like I'm saying, Crawford, so we're not negating the money. We know what the money comes, but first the love and everything else has to be there first to get that, you know. And I think Crawford worked for that. And so, uh, like you said, I picked Canelo. You know, it wasn't about money. It was like the biggest challenge. You know, because after Earl Spence, there was nobody for real. You know, it's like was nobody that's big like that. You know, we had the thing with Boots. You know, he was growing a reputation, and that fell through. And after that, it was really nobody else. You know, it was nobody on the horizon. You know, all the guys they decided to go the other way that had their 47-pound titles, and so he cleared out the division. And where else was it to go? You know, you seen Charlo got beat by Canelo. He didn't even put up a good fight, so that was, and he was the lineal champion, undisputed champion, so there was nothing to really do there. And he had a big name and he had a big following, but he let himself down and let us all down with his lackluster performance. And so it was really nowhere else to go, you know, for Crawford for real. So, you know, Canelo was the biggest target, and Crawford went for it, and he got it.